Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat, in overdrive. Chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Tagging folks in, dialogue insane. Matt's on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Bang. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat in overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Tagging folks in, dialogue insane. Matt's on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercation. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat in overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Got it.
Taking over once. You can't really, you know, I'm with the right.
Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat in overdrive. Chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Tagging folks in, dialogue insane. Matt's on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. up. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight.
What is going on? It is the Grunmeister here, and it is, you know what it is? It's Friday, so it is another episode of Grun's Room Smackdown Review Preview Show. And before we get into it, because you know what, there is some real news going on with TKO and WWE. I want to talk about that for a little bit. But we also got to talk about Money in the Bank. We got to talk about SmackDown from last week. Talk about SmackDown coming up tonight. We got one hell of a. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty busy day for WWE because they've got not only Money in the Bank, they've also got Worlds Collide, which is going to see, NXT and WWE superstars compete against AAA luchadors. So that is going to be exciting. That's going to be amazing, I'm sure. And if you've never seen Lucha Libre, if you've never seen AAA, you know what? I'm probably going to find time in my day to watch Worlds Collide and really get introduced to a lot of these luchadors who I've never heard of. Especially since the new AAA Mega Champion El Hijo de Vikingo, I think I said that right, will be defending the Mega Championship against Chad Gable. That's pretty crazy. But be sure to check out the Raw deal. I'm sorry, not the Raw deal. Try and do this in order. The Monday Night Raw review, hosted by the voice Joshua Joseph. Co-hosted by myself, the Blue-Eyed Villain, and we have a third cohort in the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway. Okay, but now what I was going to say is, you need to check out the Raw deal with House and O'Neill. For every time we get things wrong, they're the ones that are going to correct you and tell you what we got wrong. Also, they give us credit when we get things right. Right? But that is hosted by Alacon the Concept House, co-hosted by Divinely Designed Annie O'Neill. No, I swear I'm okay, guys. You got to check out the Dear Pro Wrestling Podcast, hosted by Kevin Calloway, along with the most dangerous podcaster in the world, Paragon and Relentless Ray Larson. They are real pro wrestlers that talk about the business and things they like about it, things that they do and don't, and things that maybe you, if you're interested in getting into the business, you should hear what they have to say, because they might give you a step above everybody else. You got to check out the ECW watch along, especially this last one we did, which had Josh Greenberg. If you don't know who Josh Greenberg is, he was a trusted friend, lawyer, and helped Sabu with a lot of his work in more recent years. This was an awesome, very special episode. So, the ECW Watch Along was hosted by the voice Joshua Joseph, co-hosted by Alacon the Concept House. They were thrilled. They were blessed. It was a pleasure for them to speak with Josh Greenberg. I listened in. It was a great conversation where he actually showed us a match from Sabu. It was a match between Sabu and RVD from All Japan Pro Wrestling. That I mean, Josh is a diehard Sabu fan, and he didn't know about this fan. Josh Joseph. He didn't know about this match. And it was still a great watch along. And you got to tune into that, because it's not just all about Sabu. It's been about Sabu recently, but but it is about old school ECW, original ECW, when they were wrestling in bingo halls barely getting by, and Paul Heyman had full control over the company. But my favorite show that you guys have to check out all the time, every week when you can, you got to check out the Sunday House Party, because you never know who's going to show up. You never know how many of us are going to show up. It is always a banger. It is always amazing. It is always great fun. And you guys got to tune in. And you know what? It's where I can go off on a rant and someone can either tell me to slow down or argue with me on my rants. And I don't have a rant for you tonight. Not really. Really. Maybe we'll talk about Will Ospreay and his stupid comment that he made recently. But now that that's out of the way, let's get into what's going on with TKO and WWE real quick. So people are a little bit upset, and I think it's fair for them to be upset. R-Truth got offered a very low contract, a very not good contract from WWE. R-Truth turned it down, and so that is where we are at the point where R-Truth is going to be released by WWE if he is not already released by WWE. And what we've learned is that TKO still has $3 billion worth of debt, and that is definitely not good to have $3 billion worth of debt. I've done a little bit of the math, found some articles in AI that has helped me understand, like, okay, well, what does that look like? How long could that, if they stay cash flow positive, how long could they be in this debt for? How long could it take them to clear out this debt? 10 to 12 years is likely how long it would take them to clear out this debt. And I'm sure they'd love it if they could beat that. I think lots of people would like to love it when they see, you can clear your debt in this amount of time. Like, no, I want to beat that. That we can't help it. We're competitive creatures. So we've already heard that they're trying to get Roman Reigns to renegotiate his contract that is worth $15 million, $5 million a year. In the chat, we were talking about potentially suggesting to WWE open up the WWE studios again, start making movies, and use your wrestlers. Like if you're not using them for anything else, you can use them to make movies. Is like, I mean, look, they may want to be wrestlers, but it's like you're having them make movies. Like, are they really gonna be that upset if you're told, look, we don't have anything for you in wrestling, but we can make you a WWE movie star. Which, that doesn't exactly carry the kind of weight that being a movie star in Hollywood carries. But you know what? You're doing something, and you're getting your name out there. You're getting your face out there. People can learn how talented you are as a performer if they don't see enough of you already. This is an opportunity. Yeah, if I'm one of these wrestlers, when these WWE superstars, I say I'm not going to turn down an opportunity because you know what? It's something to do, and who knows? It might be my thing. It might be my new thing. I might be able to have a longer career because I'm an actor rather than a wrestler. So learned, okay, you never get to become world champion or women's champion or whatever, but I mean, you become a movie star. Fans, we all, I think, I don't know all, but I know me, and there are a group of people that do not believe movies are as good as they used to be. And all we want some good movies. One movie idea I proposed in the house call chat was post-apocalyptic Waterworld adjacent world adjacent movie where some islands still exist, and these islands have small communities on them, and they only survive because each island has a pirate crew. And the pirate crews are all pro wrestlers. Which literally, I only came up with this idea because I got the idea in my head of Irish steampunk pirates, and now I want to see it. Like literally, this movie, it's not an idea of like, oh, it's gonna be fantastic, amazing story. No, the story would probably be shit, but it would probably be hilarious and fun to watch. Like that was the goal. It's like we need a lot more movies like that where it's like, look, we have no idea what we're doing in this movie. We just thought it'd be fun. It's like, okay, if it's fun, why not? Get your buddies and go out, get drunk, and watch a movie. We don't do that enough anymore. But what we should never do is break into people's homes, because that's what Naomi did this past week on Smackdown. She admitted to breaking in to Bianca Belair's parents' home. That is not okay. I don't know who told you that was okay. That is not okay, Naomi. Bianca came out to welcome the Knoxville, Tennessee crowd to Friday Night SmackDown. Now we could see that she still was wearing her hand and finger was still wrapped up, so she's still not medically cleared. But she came out, got a rah rah welcome home. Naomi came out and said, B, I wanted to talk to you, but you weren't at your parents' house and they weren't home. So I just let myself in and looked around. Oh, nothing weird. I'm a woman. Come on. It's not creepy. No, Naomi, this is creepy. You've crossed the line. Definitely crossed the line into creepy. Why are you doing this? Please stop. You are not the hero in this story. You are not the victim. No. Stop it, Naomi. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Naomi, this is truly Naomi's best version. The best version of her that I've ever seen. I am enjoying this storytelling. We're seeing Naomi get a lot more creative with her promos. I'm enjoying it. And overall, um, kind of weird to say, given Naomi broke into no, don't break into people's houses. Don't. Okay, don't do it. Do not break into people's houses. I don't care if it's a joke. I don't care if it's a stunt. If the people that own the home are not in on the joke, are not in on the stunt, you are not going to have a good night. Okay? If everybody that lives in the house owns the house, if they know about it and you're just, oh, we're just filming a stunt, like, okay, fine, go ahead. Hey, just be sure to pay for any damages. It's okay, you got to not cross that line into breaking into people's homes, Naomi. What the hell is wrong with you? Anyways, Naomi then threatens Bianca, and that is when Jade Cargill came out. And during the break, Nia Jax came out because, well, the thing is, we had Jade, and Nia fighting in a triple threat match to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match this Saturday. And and it was a really good match. You had a lot of dynamics, a lot of you had some story work there. You had Jade and Naomi, their beef from WrestleMania. Nia looking to crush anybody who gets in her way, and seeing Jade as a threat who's going to try and take her throne as the most powerful woman on the SmackDown roster. So Nia is not going to put up with that. Naya hits a Samoan drop from the top rope, and then actually, but somehow Naomi is able to roll her into a crucifix pin and steals the match. So this is there have been a few, one or two other where, yeah, at least one or two where a competitor basically stole the win from somebody else. I mean, look, it's triple threat rules. So I mean, like if you set somebody else, if you have put laid everybody out, but one of them gets up and rolls you up, pins you, and steals the win. Like I mean, well then you weren't. Well, I mean, you kind of look. It's a steal, but it's not that controversial. So congratulations, Naomi. Naomi in my mind, is now the front runner to win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. But we gotta look at that. Look at all six of those women again, and really figure out what does it look like, and what are we gonna do with these six women. Um, Up next we have JC Mateo taking on R Truth, and R Truth actually did get a little bit of offense in this until uh Solo Sokoa caused a little bit of distraction, allowing JC Mateo to get the momentum and squash our truth with the tour of the islands. Then Solo and JC were going to uh, attack our truth after the match. However, for Jimmy Uso came down for the save to stop up this. I don't know what we are. We still calling them Bloodline? I don't know what we're calling them anymore. But to stop Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo from beating down our truth anymore. More, and unfortunately, our truth would lose at Saturday night's main event to John Cena, as we know by now, unfortunately. But up next, we did have a segment with the tag teams of the SmackDown, uh, minus Los Garza, because we don't know what's happening with them. They might be breaking up. They might not be. We are not sure. And what we did get is confirmation that Candice LeRae was not just showing up in a spur, whatever the hell the phrase is. This is just on a whim. She wasn't just showing up on a whim the week before to help out her husband and his best friend. She showed up because she is now a part of DIY. Hi, and tried. They were saying how the tag team division is dead because DIY is not champions, and they asked for a moment of silence. You don't DIY. You don't ask for a moment of silence anymore. Not now that White Six is on SmackDown and that they are making their presence known. Now there are probably a lot of mixed opinions on the White Six right now, and I I'm not in love with the White Six anymore. I wish I was. I'm not. Um, it is going. They are going to need a repackaging very soon, and to get away from being part of Bray Wyatt's universe that he was creating. I get there are probably people out there like, no, Bo Dallas needs to finish his brother's sword. Like Bo Dallas, as far as I'm concerned, Bo Dallas finished it. He did. It was great. He brought the Wyatt Six to life, but WWE they let the Wyatt Six cool off too long. They didn't have they clearly weren't interested in making them more than a memorial group. And memorial groups are always destined to fail at some point. The question is, can you end them on good terms where the fans can be happy with the fact that the memorial group is breaking up, they're all going their separate ways, and their careers are progressing? Or are they going to be forever known as the guys and gal that got stuck being part of the Wyatt universe? Whereas, Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis have got a lot of talent and have not yet had the opportunity to really show their full potential on Raw or SmackDown. They have shown throughout their time in NXT and throughout Dexter Loomis's time between NXT, Raw, and SmackDown as creepy, silent serial killer, or that he can perform and he can have the most outrageously stupid character idea. Because it really is. There's no reason why his character should have gotten over. No reason. It shouldn't have. And yet he got it over. That is someone who's smart and wise to the business, who knows how to make it work. So he deserves, so both Joe and Dexter, they deserve better opportunities. Hopefully they will get those better opportunities this time around. Hopefully Dexter and Joe are the two that are going to be sent for the tag team titles. Los Garza would have to battle Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans, making his SmackDown return, I think. Yeah, making his return to SmackDown. Now Ray and Javon are now scheduled to face off against Ethan Page and I believe it is Laredo Kid for the NXT North American Championship, which is currently held by Ethan Page. And Ray and Javon definitely would have had won this match if it weren't for Ethan Page to get involved while the referee's back was turned. Ethan shoved shoved Ray Phoenix into Javon, and then threw Ray Phoenix over the announcer's table. Threw Javon back into the ring. Los Garza finished it. And picked up the win. All this while the referee's back was turned. So you could say Ethan Page is heading into Worlds Collide tomorrow with the momentum, with everything that he needs to beat Ray Phoenix, Javon Evans, and Laredo Kid. The women did have a showing last week in a singles match between Zelina Vega and Alba Fire, where Chelsea tried to use her face mask as a weapon, accidentally hitting Piper instead. Then Alba almost ran into Chelsea. And this was a match between and Alba Fire. I think could have won this match, but too many shenanigans because Chelsea Green, she just has to get herself involved all the time. And I would say it's Chelsea Green who cost Alba Fire this match against Zelina Vega. So Zelina Vega picks up another win in her, I'll be polite and say mediocre women's United States title run. Unfortunately for her, it was absolutely about the journey and the win, and not her maintaining the title for long. So they're gonna have to take the title off her rather soon. My guess is SummerSlam, because look, the fact is, Zelina, she does not have much of a personality on SmackDown. Now I know there's a lot more to her. I know she's big into games. She's super big into gaming, super big into the cosplaying stuff. So, like, I think there is something you could do with her. We believe there is something you could do with her to make her a better mid-card wrestler and entertainer, but they're just currently not doing it, unfortunately. Damian Priest issues a warning to Jacob Fatu, giving Jacob Fatu respect for what he accomplished at WrestleMania, but making it very clear to Jacob that Damian is going to come for that United States title and is going to put Jacob down, but also told Jacob, you better watch your back, because those guys around you, I ain't messing with them. they are going to get put down if they get in my way again. Now, our main event match of the show was the final triple in SmackDown's final triple threat match to determine the last SmackDown man to join the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men. Oh, we're actually gonna get into that soon, Big Fudge. Thank you for tuning in and greatly appreciate it. What do I think of the Cena heel turn? I think the Cena heel turn has been good. I am, I guess you can say I'm IYH's Cena super fan, and Cena's was definitely a big part of my childhood. As far as the heel turn overall, I think it's been good overall. I think there are opportunities to make some great moments. Unfortunately, it does not appear that we're going to get AJ Styles versus John Cena one more time. Unfortunately, that definitely sucks because apparently the reason is they're afraid that John Cena and AJ Styles will accidentally have an amazing match. I'm like, would that really be a bad thing? Like everyone knows AJ's reputation. Everyone knows John Cena's reputation. Like we know these two can put on amazing matches because these two are two of the absolute best to come out of wrestling in the last 25 years. There's so that's a little bit disappointing. I definitely think that there is more than a I think there's about at this point a 30% chance, maybe 40% chance that John Cena does get a match against Joe Hendry. And I would love that. AJ is gold, love it. The AJ Styles is one of the absolute best. There is a reason why we have never argued with calling him phenomenal. That is just what he is. AJ Styles is absolutely phenomenal. But his career is also he's winding down. I think 2 years. I think he said he wanted to be done by 50, so he's got 2 years left. And you know what? It sucks, but at the same time, I can't blame him because his oldest is just about to graduate high school or just did. Yes, and he's got other young children. He wants to spend more time at home with them. So I cannot wait to say that to see AJ's final run in WWE. AJ Styles makes everyone he works with look great. Yeah, he absolutely does. That is one of the biggest things about AJ Styles is that he's always had the reputation, and it's always been said that if you can't have a good match with AJ Styles, it's you. It's not him. And because AJ Styles, throughout his entire career, we have seen that he knows exactly how to make uh, any and every wrestler look like gold. Make all of them look good. Even his match against James Ellsworth. James Ellsworth is not a great wrestler. He just happens to know how to do a super kick very well. Well, and saved James Ellsworth's life in that match because James tilted his head forward rather than tilting it backward. Bad James Ellsworth. Glad to see that he got James Ellsworth got cleared of the allegations. And what do I think of Alexa joining Wyatt Six? I think it could potentially be the thing to bring new life into the Wyatt Six. I personally think that I love that they put Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy in it. I love that they brought Eric Rowan back. I love that they given Nikki Cross and Bo Dallas something. I'm thrilled of the people they put together for this group, but they let them cool off way too long. There is no heat, and taking a style clash is properly as an art form. Yeah, You know what? It is. Taking a styles clash properly is an art form. But I'm not against Alexa Bliss joining the Wyatt Six, especially if it's like a power struggle where Alexa is fighting with Bo for power in the Wyatt Six, and that is essentially what tears apart the group. Maybe Bo Dallas and Eric Rowan are sticking together while Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis and Nikki Cross go with Alexa Bliss. Because let's remember, they never ever pulled the trigger on Alexa Bliss turning on Nikki Cross. Instead, they've in kayfabe, they have kept Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross best friends this entire time. There's never been any heat between the two. So it could be this could be how they make a new group with Alexa at the helm and with Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Loomis, and creating an opportunity for Joe and Dexter to finally begin speaking, to finally be cutting promos in the ring, and doing more than those vignettes or those recorded therapy sessions. But let's. I want to get back to this triple threat Money in the Bank ladder match. For the men, it had Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and Jacob Fatu. Now, my pick was Carmelo Hayes to win this match because it doesn't make sense for Jacob Fatu to be in this match this year. Jacob Fatu should be in a Money in the Bank ladder match later. Maybe next year. I think next year could be a good year, but right now he's got too much stuff going on with Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, and what is left of the bloodline to be in this match. Whereas Carmelo Hayes, I thought this is an opportunity to put him in a position where he could be world champion at any point, gives you time, gives you a year to build him up, make people believe he's a champion and he's worth being a champion, and have him cash in, heist of the century sort of thing, whatever. Because that, and then Carmelo Hayes is he can say, "This is why I am him." But it was actually Andrade that picked up the win due to distractions from Solo Sikoa. But Solo, once again, is trying to tell Jacob Fatu how to wrestle and what to do in the match. I I don't think this is smart. I think what needs to happen is Solo needs to sit his ass down, let Jacob get the wins, because that's what matters. Getting the wins. Solo Sikoa, also remember, he's already qualified for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So you could argue that Solo is trying to keep Jacob Fatu down. Big Fudge is saying Fatu has so much on his plate. They need to end some stories. I'm kind of over the bloodline in fighting. Yes. I'm not over it. I'm just ready for it to progress. I'm not, but I definitely see what you're saying. Saying because yeah, like, you know what, Roman Reigns, he's nearing the end of his time. And, you know what? Yeah, Big Fudge is saying Solo reminds him of a helicopter parent. Yeah, yeah. That he kind of is that, and he seems to be dead set on being destructive towards Jacob Fatu's career. Andrade has gotten a chance, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he has a good showing, because Andrade is a great talent, and it has been a shame that he has not done much with it yet. Done much with his return to WWE. And now our main event segment had John Cena and Cody Rhodes battling with verbally for their tag team match happening tomorrow at Money in the Bank, where Cody Rhodes will team up with Jey Uso and John Cena teams up with Logan Paul. Now, Jey Uso did come out because Cody had backup. So Cody knew that John Cena was going to pull some stuff. So, of course, he had Jey Uso there. Problem was, John Cena called them both John Cena wannabes. And you know what? I mean, he's not necessarily wrong, because Cody has talked about how he wants to mimic John Cena's work ethic, and how Jey Uso wants to mimic the connection that John Cena had with the fans once upon a time. Well, still has. And has told everyone that the only person that is going to save WWE is a YouTuber, Logan Paul. And damn, I'm like, no. Like I know Logan Paul is going to be will be a world champion in the next 18 months, maybe 20, by WrestleMania 43. By the end of WrestleMania 43, he will be world champion. I do believe that. And we even heard Karrion Kross, he talked about how on a podcast, saying how on the one hand it's not fair because Logan didn't have because Logan, he just created a YouTube channel and got a lot of fame. You know what? Main event Jey Uso's entrance is iconic in its own right. I'm not going to take that away from it. I don't love it, but I get it. Like it is a great entrance. It is something the fans can get into. It probably is something that help them sell more merch, sell more tickets, because people want to be a part of it. They want to try and get the tickets um to that area of the arena, the stadium, whatever. That way, so they can be right next to Jay, when when he's making his entrance. So, like, no, I get it. It is a great entrance. Um, John Cena and Logan Paul. This is a dangerous duo because I do believe that they're going to become more than just a tag team. It is likely that The Rock at some point will return and will um, bring Logan Paul into his fold, and you have the 4-man team that is trying to destroy wrestling: John Cena, The Rock, Logan Paul, and Travis Scott. Travis Scott said he wants to do some wrestling, so supposedly he's training. Hopefully, he's getting good at learning how to smack someone in the face. And likely this is what the Survivor Series War Games match is going to look like. I definitely would not mind if they take a break from the War Games matches for a little bit. Because I really don't think we need the War Games matches anymore. They should be kept special. They've turned into just kind of a Survivor Series thing, but the traditional tag team matches, like I think we can bring those back for a little bit, until we can really create a good feud or multiple good feuds that require people that don't necessarily get along with each other to team up and cause a full chaotic mayhem brawl inside the cages. Big Fudge is putting something out into the universe that, you know what, we all would love to see. Well, hopefully Braun Breaker can spear Travis Scott like he smashed ISHO Speed. Oh God, I remember that moment. Just like everybody else, I hated the fact that ISHO Speed was in it, but they were right. Hey, we made you hate him for a brief moment for a reason. We saw Braun Breaker's wheels turning. The crowd said, "Do it," and he knew. Braun Breaker, he is God. Oh, he is beautiful. He is absolutely fantastic. That spear was real. Yeah, Big Fudge. Yeah, Big Fudge. Yeah, that spear was. Damn. Yeah, I think we can now say Braun Breaker has a better spear than Rhino. And I don't care what anybody else argue with me all you want. Rhino had the best spear, has always had the best spear in pro wrestling. There is Roman Reigns has had a great spear. Edge spear was good. Goldberg's spear was good. Braun Breaker's spear is fantastic. It is absolutely brutal. Rhino's spear was always the best spear. Now we got Braun Breaker reinventing the spear, and it looks beautiful. He hits the spear on the level of Goldberg when Braun spears you. Here's you. It just looks so brutal. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Braun Strowman spearing you. It is just so freaking brutal. And speaking of, oh god, things are gonna get brutal tonight on SmackDown as we have Team Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso going one on one, going once again in a verbal battle with Logan Paul and John Cena, and that is literally the only thing that is going to be. Actually, no, there is one other thing that is announced, and that is every Money in the Bank superstar is set to be on SmackDown. So for the men's, that is Andrade, El Grande Americano, Solo Sokoa, Penta, LA Knight, and Seth freaking Rollins. And Big Fudge has a comment on Jay's spear is weird. It looks like he just grabs you with an arm and looks like a love tap. Yeah, like it's not everybody can do every move. And I mean, it is what it is. It really is. Um, I I definitely think like Jay only uses it now because it was he was using it to taunt Roman with his feud with Roman, and now it's just part of his repertoire. I think we just need to accept the fact that this move is part of his repertoire, and oh well, it's part of his repertoire now. Um, and then the women that are in this year's Money in the Bank ladder match consists of Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Julia, and Stephanie Vaquer. Now, look, the men's looks good, but let's the Lou has shown up in the chat from Twitch. What is up, Lou? Thank you very much for showing up, buddy. Greatly appreciated. It is, but now I want to talk about. Okay, so Big Fudge he's coming straight out. Alexa to win. I don't think that's a bad pick because I like this women's lineup. Let's talk about this women's lineup. Naomi has reinvented herself and has absolutely created an opportunity that she could be the winner. Okay, Big Fudge is also saying Penta all the way. Penta is I look, Penta is fantastic. Cero Miedo all the way, man. But I do not think he wins this. I don't see what it does for him. I don't think it helps him. I don't. I think it pushes him too hard too fast. Am I gonna be upset if he wins? No, but I'm gonna be scared of what happens to him. Yeah, Lou, we're getting ready to talk about Money in the Bank real quick before we get out of here. You're and but look, I Penta and Alexa Bliss, I think they're good picks. I don't think Penta's gonna win. I am not shutting the door on Alexa Bliss because you know what? I don't really know. But for the women, let's say you got Naomi. She's recently reinvented herself and brought in a whole new fire to her persona, to her character, to her wrestling. Naomi has definitely built herself to be someone to keep your eyes on. Yeah, Lou, it absolutely should be a good show, regardless of what the ICW trolls are saying online, saying, "Oh, it's gonna suck." It's like, well, I'm sorry. Do you want every pay per view to be a banger? Look, just hope that it's a good show. Okay, just hope that it's a good show. Come on. On eight, then you have the lose baddie, Mami Rhea Ripley, who has been the face of the women's division for better part of 2-3 years now, and I think she's starting to lose that momentum. But it's not really it's not really anything she's doing. It's the fact that you have women like 23-year-old Roxanne Perez. I say, look, even Big Fudge, new member of the show, new member of the chat from YouTube, is saying Money in the Bank is normally a great show. Yeah, like normally, yeah, they have some really good moments, and so it's like, why are you complaining? Why y'all complaining unless all you got is hate for WWE? Okay, so shut up. Lou's even saying Naomi's a hot pick. Like I said earlier, I think Naomi's gonna win. I I think Naomi's my pick for Money in the Bank, and we'll see. But like the women's the women's lineup, you like I said, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, who is 23 years old and has been wrestling almost like 7 years, 6-7 years now, is absolutely and was nicknamed the Prodigy way before she got to WWE. She was nicknamed the Prodigy in ROH when she was there. She trained under Booker T, the Lou's favorite wrestler of all time. I'm like, that is amazing. That is fantastic. That Roxanne Perez has gotten so far so quickly. So so I mean, like, if people are gonna be out there picking Roxanne Perez, I don't see why not. Roxanne's that's a good pick. What and I'll say this: there is no bad pick in the women's division. In the women's match, there is no bad pick. I can see any one of these women winning. You have Alexa Bliss, who she has been back 6 months. No, about 5 months now. All right, so Big Fudge saying if Roxy wins, then we better get a Spinneroonie. I don't know if because like Roxanne is like she is acting really sweet with the Judgment Day, but the Judgment Day are supposed to be heels. So I don't. If we get a Spinneroonie, it will only be for the fans. It will not be for TV. If she can get confirmation that the cameras are no longer on her, she might do a Spinneroonie. She might. Like, and then it goes on social media, and then they can tweet about it there. So it can be something special for the fans to see. I can see that. Lou is saying his pick for the men's is LA Knight. That's a good pick. I mean, because LA Knight would be a surprise, and I'm taking it back, Lou. I don't think it's a bad pick, but I don't think it's a good pick. Like I was just trying to be polite. I'm sorry, buddy, but yeah, no, I can't see LA Knight winning, man. But that could be exactly why it would be LA Knight to win. I I don't know. I'm not. I'm not convinced. I'm not. Um, Alexa Bliss has been back about 5 months, and I think she is going to be a big player in the women's division. I don't think she's going to be a champion, but I do think that Alexa Bliss will play a major role in the women's division and how they progress. Okay, all right. So Big Fudge is making a good point. If we can get a Kana Rooney and a Vince Rooney, then we need a Roxy Rooney. I that is a very good argument. I also believe that is before my time when all that happened. And I started watching pro wrestling in about 2005. Um, in the lead up to the feud between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, John Cena just recently beaten Chris Jericho in a "You're Fired" match, and then was feuding with Kurt Angle over who loves America more. Or and I learned Snitsky likes women's feet. He was a creep. That's pretty much what I remember. Big Fudge admitting he's been a fan of W back when it was still, man, showing your age there, man. I mean, don't worry, Lou's an old man too. Lou here is about, I don't know, 60 something, 70 something. He's an old man, dude. But Julia and Stephanie Booker are not old. They are. Oh, I'm sorry, Lou. Was I off by a few decades? Should I have aimed older? No, Lou's almost 40, okay? That is a more accurate depiction of his age. He's almost 40, somewhere between 30 and 40. He's somewhere in there. Oh, there you've been watching since 1998, 96. All right. Yeah. You do I take you on. I take you on, Lou. I will take your ass on. Okay? I got your ass. Let's get through the. All right, well, there you go. I didn't know Lou was going to say how old he was, but there you go, Fudge. Yeah, you and Lou are the same age. Hell in a cell. Oh, I had to battle his stupid twin brother in WWE 2K25. His ugly ass twin brother in 2K25 in a Hell in a Cell match. And little Dave Dingle, baby, he fucking beat my ass. Like, screw you, Dave Dingle. If I catch you in the real world, I'd drop your ass. We joking here, okay? We joking here, okay? Don't hate, all right? Don't get me in trouble, please. All right, we joking around here. What's not a joke is Julia and Stephanie Vicker were quickly brought into WWE as soon as the opportunity arose for WWE to acquire them, and then within 6 months to a year, in less than a year, they were put on the main roster. So Julia and Stephanie Vicar, they are not a joke at all. They are on. Julia is now on SmackDown. Stephanie Vicar is on Raw, and now we have got these 6 women battling it out for the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. The women's match, you cannot pick a wrong answer. All 6 of these women, there is a viable argument why they should win. We got Clover in the chat now, jumping in at a weird time where me and Lou are beefing. Yeah. Lou's throwing some. Yeah, we throwing some Cena heat. Dog. Yeah, no, I'm too white for that. Um, For the women's, I am definitely gonna go. Damn, I'm gonna go Naomi. I'm gonna go Naomi. I think it's more likely she wins. And as for the men, between Andrade, El Grande Americano, Solo Sikoa, Penta, LA Knight, and Seth Rollins, I'm going Seth freaking Rollins. I think Seth Rollins wins, and this causes more stuff between him and Punk. But at the same time, I was almost talked into thinking that Seth was not going to win, and that CM Punk was going to come out and cost Seth Rollins the win, which I can definitely still see happening. Oh, John Cena's music crowd sings twice. John Cena's music crowd sings definitely too white for that. Oh, right. But now, so for let's actually get into the rest of Money in the Bank. Only a couple other matches on the card. We had the we'll save this tag team match for last. We've got what is the other? Okay, the only other match on the card that we haven't really talked about is Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title. Becky needs to win here, okay? Because Becky needs to win this match tomorrow at Money in the Bank. In my opinion, it is a bad idea to keep this title on Lyra any longer without her having to face more a new challenge. Becky Lynch should win this title. And you create a feud, forcing Lyra to get meaner, to get badder, to get tougher, and to get grittier, and to really be willing to get into a bloody fight with Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch is the correct answer for that win. As I said, my pick is going to be Naomi for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm picking Seth Rollins to win the men's, and then for the tag team match of the night, the main event, we have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso, teaming up to take on the undisputed WWE Champion John Cena and Logan Paul. Now, I'm thinking, and John Cena does not need to win all of his matches, but he's champion now. I am going to say, I I think I'm going to go John Cena and Logan Paul to win this tag team match. I think there's some shenanigans. I think we see John Cena and Logan Paul get help from The Rock, and this costs Cody and Jay the match, creating an opportunity for Logan Paul to once again challenge Jey Uso for the title, and creating a reason why John Cena won't defend his title against Cody Rhodes. So big fight saying women's Money in the Bank ladder match first. Is gonna be the first match. Could be. Definitely could be. Becky loses and snaps and cash in on the injured champ. Becky. Wait, what? So you're saying in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, we're gonna see the winner cash in on Jay that night. I think that's what you're. Okay. So Cody and Jay win, but they pin Paul. Okay. Yeah, I don't think John Cena takes a pinfall. I can definitely see Logan Paul taking the pin. You're saying that it's gonna be cashing on the injured champ. That would be. I mean, it's happened once before. No, the females match. So the woman cashes in on the women's Intercontinental title. I don't like that. I I understand that the women's Intercontinental title needs to be made important, but I think that also diminishes the women's Money in the Bank ladder match briefcase. I I see what you're trying to achieve here, and it definitely the women's Intercontinental title and the women's US title definitely need to be made important because these are the important years that people are going to remember, that are going to justify why they exist, or they will prove why these titles should not exist. I think WWE has a roster bloated with talent, and I think they can make these titles important. I think it's just a matter of, are they able to make that happen. I do not agree that uh that the women's IC okay, even saying is saying it needs a kick in the bum. The IC title needs to be better. Yeah, I like definitely. I am not gonna argue with that. Like, it has not been a terrible run, but it has not been on the level it needs to be. And I think Becky can take that title to that level. I think Becky treating it like a championship and doing the best she can with making it feel important. I think that, and then Lyra conquering Becky in some grandiose way. Iron Woman, yeah, an Iron Woman's match at SummerSlam. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria in an Iron Woman's match for the Women's Intercontinental title. I think that could work. I think that could be a really good match. Actually, that is definitely what I am going to be be hoping for. Um but there is no denying that the women's IC title, it needs a kick in the bum. It needs something to make it feel more important. The women's United States title is the same way. It needs to feel important because right now neither title, they're not dead in the water, but they don't feel important. And that is good, but it's also not good. But if you get what I mean, like, they fans are still willing to give these titles a chance, but they have to do something with them, and they have to do something to make these titles feel important. They're making the United States title feel important. They're making the IC title feel important. Oof, oof, Big Fudge. That's quite an insult. Right now, Big Fudge is saying at this point the women's IC title feels like the 24/7 title. Can't like I see where you're going with that. It's and the one thing is that you got to remember is Lyra is the inaugural winner of the title, so there's only been one champion. But I get what you're saying. Like, it doesn't feel important. I definitely I completely agree with that. I think comparing it to the 24/7 title is not quite fair because the 24/7 title was not meant to be taken seriously. It was set up to be a comedic relief title. I don't, without calling it the comedic relief title. So they came up with something that that they could have people do something and get a little bit of time on TV. I mean, it helped R-Truth out. It helped Carmella out. It helped a lot of people out get a little bit of TV time. I mean, it's definitely, so it's like it wasn't, it's definitely not one that we want to remember, but it had its moments. But the women's IC title, it needs to have more than just a few moments. It needs to feel important. It needs to feel like, hey, the woman that won this title is going to be a big deal one day. Like, that's what it needs to feel like. Because yeah, true, the 24/7 title was not meant to be taken seriously, but the ladies IC title is meant to be serious, but it just doesn't feel that way. I completely agree. I 100% agree that you're right. It does not feel as serious as they want it to feel. Um, well, I'm not going to argue with you on that. It needs more time, but at the same time, like it needs people around the title to make it feel important. And I personally think they picked the wrong person to put the title on. I think it should have been Dakota Kai to win the title. They chose Lyra, and like that, in my opinion, that just kind of that killed Dakota. That's that was the final nail in the coffin. She was gonna be out the door one way or the other. As for but Becky Lynch, I think she can be the one to make that title feel important. And by winning it. And then I don't know. Maybe I don't know, defending it every week, trying to make it feel important, like an anti John Cena sort of thing, where it's like I'm gonna prove that I can beat every woman in the roster by beating them every single week. It's the man's time now. It's women's IC title time now, and it is time for a bitch to get her arm broken. That'd be kind of badass if Becky actually cut a promo like that on Raw after winning the women's IC title. That'd be kind of badass. But for that, like we've talked about SmackDown and we've talked about Money in the Bank. I think this is a good place to call it a wrap. Tune in next week. We'll be here at the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. My YouTube is Grunmeister, Grunmeister. On Twitch, it is spelled the exact same way. On Kick, it is spelled the exact same way. Wait, okay, so they pledge one final comment. But if they do the open challenge, then they make the women's world champion week. Maybe. But like it's like I'm not the one working behind the scenes, so I definitely get that you want to make Io Sky look strong, but at the same time, the women's world title should not be defended every single week. Of course, dude. I'm glad to have you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for finding me. We'll be back here next week, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're talking SmackDown, talking WWE. Never did get a chance to talk about Will Ocean Spray Osprey. And that's because you know what? He's not that important. All right, but tune in. Keep your ears open for IYH because you can find the In Your House Wrestling Podcast programs everywhere you get podcasts. Yes, on Apple, Spotify, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Spotify. I said Spotify. I'm going to say it twice because you know what? Spotify has access to podcasts. It's really easy. So is all the other ways you can get. Obviously, all the other ways you can get podcasts. Everywhere you get them, we put them there. So tune into those. It's just Big Fudge is admitting that it is 2 a.m. for him in South Africa. Dude, damn. Well, thank you. We greatly appreciate you listening. I appreciate you tuning in and listening. And take care, guys. Have a good Friday night or Saturday morning. When you get some sleep. Have a great Saturday. Have a great Sunday. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next week.